What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I'm going to hit y'all with my thoughts on this new album from Knowledge the Pirate entitled Wolves Don't Eat with Shepherds. So, Knowledge the Pirate is an MC coming out of New York who has been on the scene since the 90s, but was reintroduced to many in the late 2000s by way of his Rock Marciano affiliation. With Knowledge the Pirate, you were going to get a lot of grim mafioso and drug dealing tales. He definitely taps into that mysterious crime noir aesthetic pretty well. He has a methodical, slow flow, but paints pictures in the most authentically sounding way possible. You can just tell from his voice and his overall presence that he actually lived or still lives the lifestyle that he raps about. Now, I did enjoy his Hidden Treasure project from 2021, even though I didn't get the chance to review it. But that brings us to this new one entitled Wolves Don't Eat with Shepherds, produced entirely by Big Ghost LTD, who has had an insanely productive year thus far. This contains 12 tracks and lasts approximately 38 minutes. The only features are Ty Ferris and Flea Lord. But with that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with this track by track breakdown. The opener, Pull Up, has these opulent strings that sound fitting for a mob flick. His two verses are layered with coke talk and designer fashion references. I mean, there are quite a few fashion label references on this album in general, and by looking at his photos on social media, it is evident that Knowledge the Pirate is getting to that bag. I mean, he dresses in way more luxury than your average underground rapper. But yeah, as a whole, this was a solid way to set things off, really pulled the listener into that mafioso realm. Track 2, Devotion, has an angelic female vocal sample. It might actually be my favorite soulful instrumental out of the whole batch, and I could easily have seen Westside Gunn, Ghostface, or Rock Marcy as a feature. Here, Knowledge speaks on some of the sacrifices that he had to make on the streets, particularly dug his following lines on Wrapped a Brick, then he sniffed an eighth up north with his pole, where the weather was so cold that it froze his face. Track 3, Heavy Crown, takes on a darker cinematic tone. The chilling strings really complement his ruthless demeanor, and it's another record with dense coke talk. This is followed up by Trenches, which has a similarly eerie instrumental, although the drums are more prevalent. Something about this beat does put me in the frame of mind of Only Built for Cuban Links 2. On this record, Knowledge the Pirate reminds us just how real things can get when you live that Trenches lifestyle. He talks about daily shootouts, shattered relationships, and a young kid dying in front of his mom's house. The subsequent song, Young and Dumb, is more of a cautionary tale where we get some heartfelt storytelling from Knowledge over a slower tempo, dusty soul sample. Knowledge tells the tale of a kid who wants to make a name for himself in the streets. You know, the type of kid who has potential, but he's just a little too eager, too flashy, moving a little too reckless. Knowledge raps, look in his eyes like nothing else acceptable. He popped the chunk of the Lex, had 10 pounds of them vegetables. I looked at him like how you moving is questionable. It's not what you do, but how you do it that will be the death of you. So some wise words from Knowledge the Pirate, no doubt. Afterwards is Russian Sable, which has a moody blues guitar beat. It's smooth, low key, but slightly lower energy. Thankfully, the Scarface vocal scratches, I started small time dope game cocaine, saved it for me. Here, Knowledge speaks more on the heartache and pain that is a byproduct of that lifestyle. I guess you could label it another cautionary tale. Track 7, The Tombs, has a grim motion picture soundscape that stylistically resembles the production found on tracks like Heavy Crown and Trenches. It was a cool record that had Knowledge the Pirate giving us more vivid drug tales. Track 8, Bad Boys, has the brightest instrumental on the project by far. The sunny guitar lick was a welcomed change in pace. This features a solid verse from Flea Lord. So yeah, if you are looking for something with more of that funky vibe, then I would definitely recommend this as a standout. Now, track 9, Wolves, is without a doubt the hardest hitting record on the project. From the psychedelic soul chops to Knowledge's more in-your-face delivery, this one definitely goes hard. I feel this is also where Knowledge the Pirate gives us some of his sharpest lyrical darts on the album. I felt like Moses when the bushes first spoke to me. Guns N' Roses blowing on Kush, smelling potpourri. Two soldiers that will bag you up like groceries. We take over neighborhoods, but we move with diplomacy. Now that's piracy, murder written in poetry. They found him laying in a pool of blood, gripping the rosary. Track 10, No God, has an obscure gospel sample that's drumless. And on this record, Knowledge gives us some wise words from the Tabernacle. It's a mix of designer references, brick talk, and 5% teaching. The second to last track, Treasure Chest, has a late night syrupy guitar beat that's very smooth and hypnotic. We got a solid verse from Knowledge the Pirate, but it was his guest Ty Ferris who I felt stole the show. Then the album wraps up with Sweet Water, set to a bluesy and psychedelic backdrop where Knowledge gives us some chilling threats about bodies getting found in that Hudson River. He's really playing into that grimy, ruthless pirate aesthetic. It definitely has that cinematic flavor. He talks about avenging someone's death and how every day in the hood a movie is made, except no one earns any Emmys or Oscars. Overall, I give this project a rating of a strong 3.5 to 4 mics. I feel that Big Ghost's production definitely complemented Knowledge's low-key crime boss demeanor. I pretty much dug all of the instrumentals and thought that Big Ghost mostly knocked it out the park, although I found one or two of them to be slightly low on the energy. But perhaps it was Knowledge, the Pirate's flow, that made those records come across as a little drowsy. Don't get me wrong, they weren't bad, but I was listening to this project while working out, and at times I wanted something slightly more energetic from the two. Knowledge the Pirate has bars, no question, and is skilled at bringing the listener into his dark underworld. It's just that sometimes I wish he could switch up the flow a bit just to add more of a pulse. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think this is a dope project. And if you are a fan of artists like Rock Marcy, Smooth, and Us Kingpin, then you will likely enjoy this project. I would say he is 3 for 3 on the most recent releases. My favorite tracks include Pull Up, Devotion, Trenches, Young and Dumb, Bad Boys, Wolves, Eat, and Treasure Chest. Let me know what you thought about this album in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Knowledge the Pirate, Big Ghost, Wolves Don't Eat with Shepherds, 1.